Thanks for tuning in. I'm Andy Shulman. This is the Generation Report. Many times in this series, I've made the point that the over-reliance on what I call the fourth turning CliffsNotes has been an enormous inhibiting influence on the ability of the conversation about these ideas to grow and evolve. But recently, I stumbled upon some comments Neil Howe made on a live stream, which got me thinking in a different way about why the conversation has not assumed the urgency that it should have. Here are those comments.
Typically, very often we see just great conflict. You know what I mean? That's kind of the climax. It's actually in my book, I refer that as the ekpyrosis, the kind of the burning of everything and the kind of the creating of a new order. But then it's over, and the secret is getting through it as painlessly as we can, right? I mean, the order has to be remade, but we don't want to suffer needless damage on the way through it.
Yeah. Back when Neil and Bill Strauss were collaborating together, I highly doubt either would have given such an empty series of remarks as that, namely because I'm certain neither would have gotten away with it. But let's consider for a moment. If the whole purpose of living through a fourth turning is just getting through it and not suffering needlessly, why do anything that might come with risks? Why take the time to build anything that might just stand the test of time if it works? Why concern ourselves with the present at all if we just reassure ourselves that the future will take care of itself? I suppose it's possible Neil really has convinced himself that the four turnings amount to little more than a page-turning exercise in the real world. But if that assessment is even partially accurate, he's lost sight of something which is both undeniable as a historical matter and painfully apparent to most ordinary people in their daily lives. The standard of living most Americans have enjoyed since World War II, which is to say, since the beginning of the first turning that began our current cycle, had essentially no precedent in the history of the world when it came along. Today, a lifetime later, the opportunities to attain that standard of living and have aspirations for what used to be regarded as the American dream have been lost for millions of Americans, and there is no assurance that there is anything coming over the horizon which will bring them back. Too many who recite the old CliffsNotes forget that history is not simply the sum of four turnings that repeat. If the future is in any way going to resemble the American society of the immediate post-war period, hoping for the best is the last possible course of action that will ever possibly bring it about. I've concluded that the reason Neil Howe and so many others are liable to slip into rationalizations that make them unable to see or admit this is because they see the fourth turning concept as an abstract set of answers to questions they ask in passing, and usually from a position of relative comfort. But for me, because of my experience, it isn't an abstract matter at all. I graduated from college in 2008. And the best analogy I can make to explain how it felt is it was like getting tossed out of a moving car and falling over a cliff. But beyond the imprint that specific experience left on me, my life since 2008 has been an immense struggle to attain just scraps of the life I was sure awaited me back when I was 22. I suppose those things are what has sustained in me a level of curiosity about why things are as they are, that in turn draws out a healthy skepticism toward CliffsNotes that get oft-recited about anything. But regardless, I am confident my sense of urgency in trying to understand and apply these ideas can be summoned by no one else. And if I may be so bold to say so, urgency has never been a more necessary part of this discussion. America is in trouble, and the future of America is looking increasingly bleak. The only chance we have to turn that around is if we make the decision to do something about it. Thank you for listening. May God bless America.